What's good? It's your boy Logic back here with another video. I just got done eating some pecan rolls. That's why I'm smacking my lips. But I'm gonna say something that a lot of people gonna hate, a lot of women gonna hate. Um, is when it comes to sports. I want to talk about sports a little bit. Um, and actually, this kind of goes outside of sports. It's just something that I've noticed and that's becoming more prevalent, and that's the infiltration of male spaces. All right. And what I mean by that is um, something that was predominantly male based, slowly being taken over by females, or females wanting to be a part of it, and this, and that, and the other, right? And when it comes to sports, obviously there's a big difference between male and female. That's why there's no sport where men or women are on the same team. So they've divided sports into male and female categories, right? For almost every sport that there is for a man, there is one for a woman, and gives you plenty of opportunity to cast females that have played that sport or that are interested in that sport in those roles, like a commentator or sportscaster, interviewer, or whatever, right? Seems pretty fair on paper, right? But constantly, women are trying to fight for these positions, arguing about pay, doing all this other stuff, while they're trying to cover male sports, right? And I'm not saying that a girl doesn't know anything about male basketball. I mean, just if you watch it enough and you can memorize names and stats and stuff, I mean, of course you can, be able to voice, the obvious. And I'll be the one to say that sometimes a lot of sportscasters just repeat the same shit. But to me, a woman in the male sports field, to me, is somewhat of a liability, and at times a distraction, right? I mean, so let's cut to the chase. Like, first of all, most of the females that are doing the sports, they're pretty attractive. Like, you could say you wouldn't. Let's say a single guy, if any of those sportcaster chicks, came up to you and wanted to smash or something, you're single, you probably wouldn't say no, right? And I'm not saying all of them look gorgeous or anything, but there's no overweight chicks on there, right? I haven't seen one overweight, really, like sportscaster female, really, like, you know what I'm saying? Majority, 99% of them got nice bodies, athletic bodies, probably played sports, or their husband plays sports, and no male athlete that grinded and got his body into athletic shape would probably get a girl that's not athletic herself, and he would, deservingly so. Like, if he's keeping his body in top shape, he probably demands that of his female. So I can understand why the girls look like that. But obviously, it can be distracting, whether it be in the workplace or on television. Obviously, you gotta step around these females. You gotta make sure you don't say certain kind of things to these females. Jokes that would normally be cool amongst men, you can't really say with females. You gotta really walk on eggshells, right? Um, but my whole thing is this: if there are female counterparts to the male sports, why can't they be separate slash equal, right? And not equal as in like asymmetrical or whatever, equal where it's like, obviously the pay is always going to be based on the product's production, right? And here's what I really think. Female sports is, for the most part, trash. Do you have a couple sports in here, maybe like tennis or some beach volleyball or something like that or whatever? Nine times out of ten, it's a sport where girls are less clothed, so you can draw in a little bit of. I'm not saying they do it for male attention, but males will pay more closer attention to that. Obviously, they'll probably care about the aesthetics of the sport than actually the sport itself, right? But outside of those couple sports, most of female sports don't really bring in much revenue. And I think the female sportscasters know that. And that's why they don't try to get into those fields. So they'll try to infiltrate the male spaces, even though there's plenty of guys that know. It's like this: the amount of guys that play sports, especially when you're talking about guys who used to play the male sports, who retire, who could possibly become a sports analyst or whatever. Um, there's so much more of a history of male sports that there's no way, just by a number standpoint, that there should be a female commentator. Like let's say she's great at commentating, right? Let's say there's 2 or 3 girls that are good at commentating. There's 1,000 guys that played sports, that retired or whatever. What are the odds? Whether they watch sports professionally or play the sport professionally, there's 1,000 guys that are in that industry or whatever. What are the odds that these 4 girls that they try to slide on here are better than all every 1,000? I'm not saying it's not possible, but it's very unlikely. Meaning that these girls are in these positions because they're trying to look progressive. Obviously, if you just run the numbers, every year there's a guy retiring out of these sports. Sports that are being supported, that are making money, that whatever. Sports that have been around longer than the female version of that sport. So there's just tons and tons and tons of guys you could select from that would that could take that job. The odds of a female even like getting that position just on merit, even if she did the female version, if we're talking about the male version, you would just get someone who played the male version, because they both got experience, but he's experienced specifically in the stuff that's getting covered. So there's a high likely chance that he would know more about what he's talking about, or people would take his advice more personally because he used to play that sport. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, females are infiltrating male spaces. And that, like I said, and that kind of goes in anything, like comic books. SJWs are trying to infiltrate comic books. I'm not saying there ain't comic books made for girls, but we know what comic books were made for. They were made for boys to sell toys or whatever like that. And the whole industry is based off of males buying the comic books. It's predominantly male centric. You know what I'm saying? But then they try to be progressive. We got to add lesbians in there. We got to add gays in there. We got to add all this other stuff in there. But ultimately, it's a male space that's getting dominated by females or transgenders or whatever. It's a male space getting infiltrated, basically. There's really nothing that we can call our own. If a guy's enjoying something, or if there is a escape where men can be men, all in due time, you know that a female is gonna try to take it over and try to, hey, you should try this, you should try to put a spin on it, you should try to do this, try that. And I'm just like, come on. Here's my thing. Here's my argument right here. Name me a female space that's being infiltrated by men. You can't. Where are men trying to, like, hey man, there need to be more men in here. Let's go ahead. There's no men in here at all. You need to have more men in here. Like, we're not. You don't see us starting these movements or whatever in a female dominated subject. You don't see men like trying to get in there, right? And the only reason why, and like I said, you just gotta cut the bullshit and just make sense of it. It's because the female version fails. Look, the female sports fails because males like to watch males play sports. 9 times out of 10, males like to watch other males play sports. The competition is higher, the excitement, they can envision themselves as that player. They boys growing up idolize those players, so they're watching it. And then most girls don't care about sports. So you got males that watch males, and then most girls don't like sports at all. So where's the female audience for sports? If anything, if more females probably watch male sports than female sports. Now I don't have the exact numbers on that, but I'm just using logic here. So, like I said, there's might be a handful of female sports that actually make some type of profit, but we already know what's going on with the WNBA and all this other stuff like that. So my whole thing is like, I don't like when they try to push. It's one thing. It's one thing when you're talking about a job where like, they want to put females in certain positions where we're talking about actually helping society or something like that, or need those type of perspectives or whatever like that. But when you talk about entertainment, where just because you're a female's view on a basketball team doesn't make the experience better. You know what I'm saying? It's not. She's not going to convey the information any better than anybody else. LeBron scored 25 points this game. Whether a guy said it or where a girl said it, the information is the information. You're reading off stats, right? So ultimately, there's really no reason to put a girl in there outside of the fact that she's just a girl. You know what I'm saying? Hell, like, let's just cut the bullshit again. When you see a table of analysts, they'll probably have this one random chick on it, right? Where's the other chicks? If there were so predominantly, man, there's so many females that know sports, blah blah blah. We'll just have this whole cast of females, like whining like 3 girls, 3 boys, talking about the NBA finals, at the same table. It almost seems like tokenism to a degree because you only have the one female there. But if you were to pluck her out, the quality of the show ain't gonna drop or nothing. It ain't like, man, I can't watch this, man. There ain't no girls on here. I don't even want to watch like First Take or nothing like that. I'm like, come on, man. Like the only reason why females are infiltrating male spaces because they know that the female version fails. But to me, that's no reason to come over here. There's things that girls can do that will succeed that guys can't do, but they don't want to go do that because maybe it seems too stereotypical or something like that, or they want to mix it up, or they want to do this like a badge of honor, like, look, I kicked it with the boys and I hung. And I'm like, don't dilute the quality because you're trying to prove a point. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I'm not even saying, let's say, the quality of, because I said, you're just reading off a sports card. But the thing is, you're a distraction and a liability. Point blank, period. You know you're a distraction. You don't even know you're a distraction because no one could ever tell you you're a distraction, because then they would become a distraction. If I'm distracted, oh man, she's kind of cute, but she's like, it's hard to like talk around her because I want to say guy shit, raunchy shit, or I want to, be a man, like, and guys talk about girls and guys make jokes, and we don't know what's offensive to a girl may not be offensive to a guy. I don't want to have to walk around on eggshells. She don't even know that we're walking on eggshells because we're trying to be so calm and collected when she walks by that she don't even know the climate of the room. You know what I'm saying? And then if we walk past each other, we brush up against her, she's claiming like she was touched or something, a liability. That's why most guys don't even want to work with females already, because they don't want things to get claimed or things to be taken out of context or whatever. So it's just funny. I've been watching sports and reading comic books and doing anything that men do. And you slowly start seeing girls trying to creep in, trying to make moves in it. But you do not see guys trying to infiltrate female spaces. It's crazy. Like I said, people might hate it. You might think it's misogynistic or something like that. I'm just saying, like, look, there are things that girls are going to be able to start, do, whatever, that guys ain't going to be able to do. And you won't see guys try to take it from you. But it's just unfair that guys will have something that's always been male dominated, but girls insist on trying to infiltrate that space. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. But like I said, what do y'all think? It's your boy Logic back in here with another video.